Captain James Walker stood on the bridge of humanity's newest and most powerful warship, the EDF Vengeance. The massive vessel stretched over 2 miles long, its black hull dotted with weapon ports that could unleash destruction unlike anything humans had built before. Through the main viewport, Earth hung like a blue jewel against the darkness of space. It looked so peaceful from up here, so fragile. "Captain, all systems are ready," said Lisa Reed, his executive officer. Her voice was steady, but her eyes showed the same worry they all felt. Walker nodded. "Thank you, XO. Let's hope we never have to use them." The ship had been built after years of secret work. Every nation on Earth had contributed resources, scientists, and soldiers to this project. It was the first time in human history that the entire planet had worked together on something this big. Because now, they knew they were not alone, and they knew they were in danger. "Captain, Admiral Jones is calling from Earth Command," said Emma Wilson from her communication station. Her fingers moved quickly over the glowing panel. "Put him on the main screen," Walker ordered. The stern face of Admiral Jones appeared before them. His gray hair was cut short, and deep lines marked his face from years of hard decisions. "Captain Walker, is the Vengeance ready for its mission?" the Admiral asked. "Yes, sir. All weapons systems are online. The crew is prepared." The Admiral nodded. "Good. The object we detected has changed course. It's definitely heading toward us now." Walker felt his stomach tighten. For months, Earth's long-range sensors had been picking up strange signals. Something was destroying planets in distant star systems. Planets very much like Earth. The pattern of destruction seemed to be moving in their direction. "How long do we have?" Walker asked. "The scout ship will reach the outer planets in 72 hours, Admiral Jones answered. "The main fleet is still far behind, but this scout is moving fast. We need to know what we're dealing with." Mike Thompson, the chief engineer, spoke up from his station. "Sir, if we push the new engines to full power, we could intercept the scout ship near Neptune." "That's the plan," said the Admiral. "Captain Walker, your orders are simple. Find out what this thing is, and if it's hostile, destroy it. We can't let it report back to its fleet about Earth's location." "Understood, sir." After the Admiral signed off, Walker turned to his bridge crew. These were the best officers Earth had to offer. Thompson, the brilliant engineer who had helped design the ship's revolutionary power systems. Alan Davis, the tactical officer whose quick reflexes had saved lives in the old Mars conflict. Emma Wilson, who could understand and translate signals no one else could make sense of. "Listen up," Walker said. "We all know why we're here. Something is destroying Earth-like planets across the galaxy. We don't know why, but the pattern is clear. They are heading our way." He pulled up a star map on the main screen. Red dots marked the destroyed worlds. "Whatever is doing this, it only targets planets like ours. Blue worlds with water and life. They leave everything else alone." Lisa Reed stepped forward. "The scientists are calling them the Void. The planets they destroy are left completely lifeless, not just bombed, but somehow empty. Like something sucked out all trace of life." Walker nodded. "Our mission is to intercept their scout ship before it can scan Earth and report back. If possible, we'll try to communicate, but if they show any hostile intent, we blow them to hell," said Davis, his hand resting on the weapons console. "Exactly," Walker agreed. "Humanity has never faced a threat like this before. For all we know, we might be the last Earth left." The crew was silent as the weight of those words sank in. "Set course for Neptune," Walker ordered. "Maximum speed." The EDF Vengeance broke orbit, its massive engines glowing blue against the blackness of space. As Earth grew smaller behind them, Walker felt the heavy burden of command. 7 billion lives depended on them. Perhaps they were the last defenders not just of Earth, but of all life like theirs in the galaxy. 3 days later, they waited in Neptune's shadow. The gas giant's swirling blue clouds hid them from direct detection. "Anything, Emma?" Walker asked. Emma adjusted her headset. Still nothing clear, sir. But there's something out there. The signals are unlike anything in our databases. There. Alain pointed to a blip on the tactical display. Coming in fast from the Kuiper belt. Walker leaned forward. On screen. The view screen showed only darkness at first. Then, as the ship's powerful cameras focused, they saw it. A sleek, dark shape moving against the stars. It wasn't large, perhaps a quarter the size of the Vengeance, but something about it sent chills down Walker's spine. It seemed to absorb the light around it, its surface a shifting pattern of darkness. What is that thing made of? Mike wondered aloud. It's slowing down, Lisa reported. I think it's scanning the system. Walker made his decision. We can't let it find Earth. Battle stations. Red lights flashed as the crew rushed to their positions. The Vengeance's engines powered up, pushing the massive ship out from behind Neptune. Sir, Emma called out, her voice tight with tension. I'm picking up a transmission from the alien ship. It's sending something toward Earth. Intercept course, full speed, Walker ordered. Alan, ready all weapons. The Vengeance shot forward, revealing itself to the alien scout. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the alien ship changed course, accelerating away from them. It's running, Lisa said. It saw us. Now it's trying to get back to warn its fleet, Walker said grimly. We can't let that happen. Alan, target their engines. The Vengeance's weapon ports opened, revealing rows of laser cannons and missile tubes. The alien ship suddenly released a pulse of energy that washed over them. What was that? Walker demanded. Some kind of scan, Mike reported. It just took our measure. The alien ship stopped retreating. It turned to face them, its dark hull seeming to shift and change. Small ports opened along its surface. I think we have our answer about whether they're hostile, Lisa said quietly. All crews, braced for impact, Walker announced over the ship-wide comm. This is not a drill. We are engaging an alien vessel. The future of Earth depends on us now. As the first energy bolts flew between the ships, Captain Walker knew humanity's long period of solitude in the universe was over. The question now was whether they would survive this new chapter. The war for Earth's survival had begun. The first blast from the alien ship hit the Vengeance hard. The bridge shook, and warning lights flashed red across every console. Damage report. Captain Walker shouted over the noise of alarms. Mike Thompson checked his engineering displays. Shields holding at 82%, Captain. That wasn't just a warning shot. They meant to hurt us. The alien vessel moved with surprising speed for its size, circling around to attack again. Its dark hull seemed to shift and flow like liquid shadow. Alain returned fire. Target their weapon systems, Walker ordered. Tactical Officer Davis nodded. His fingers moved quickly over the weapons console, firing main lasers. Brilliant beams of energy shot out from the Vengeance, streaking across space toward the alien ship. At the last second, the enemy vessel twisted in a way that seemed to defy physics, and most of the lasers missed. What the hell? Davis muttered. It's like it knew exactly where we were aiming. Try again, Walker said. Fire pattern Delta, spread the beams out. This time, some of the lasers hit their target. The alien ship shuddered, and a small explosion bloomed on its surface. Emma Wilson called out from her station. Captain, I'm picking up strange signals from the alien ship. It's like it's talking to itself. What do you mean? Walker asked, gripping the arm of his command chair as another blast rocked the ship. The signals are internal communications, Emma explained, but they're unlike anything I've ever seen. Multiple frequencies, changing patterns, almost like what? Like a conversation between different parts of the ship. Before Walker could process this information, the alien vessel fired again. This time, the blast was different, a pulse of blue energy that washed over the Vengeance. Shields down to 60%, Mike reported. Whatever that was, It went right through our outer defenses. Lisa Reed pointed to the tactical display. They're making a run for it, heading back toward the outer system. Walker made a quick decision. Pursue them. We can't let them report back about Earth. The Vengeance's massive engines roared to life, pushing the warship forward. Despite its size, the human vessel began to gain on the alien scout. They're leading us somewhere, Lisa said quietly to Walker. This feels like a trap. Walker nodded. I know, but we have no choice. Alan, ready the prototype weapon. Davis looked up in surprise. Sir, we haven't tested it in actual combat. Now's as good a time as any, Walker said grimly. If this is a trap, we need something they won't expect. The chase continued for hours, taking them past Neptune and toward a small, dying star at the edge of the solar system. The alien ship maintained its lead but never quite escaped. They're slowing down, Lisa reported suddenly. We're almost in weapons range again. Ready the prototype, Walker ordered. Mike, how's our power? The engineer checked his readings. Fusion reactors at 95%. We've got enough juice for one good shot. As they approached the dying star, the alien vessel suddenly stopped and turned to face them. New ports opened along its hull, revealing what looked like massive weapon emplacements. They were holding back before, Davis said, his voice tense. Those are planet killers. Walker stood up from his chair. This ends now. Alan, fire the prototype weapon. Davis pressed a sequence of commands. From the underside of the Vengeance, a special port opened, revealing a cannon unlike any other human weapon. It began to glow with an intense white light. Weapon charge, Davis announced. Firing in 3, 2, 1. A beam of pure white energy shot out from the Vengeance, connecting with the alien ship in an instant. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, the darkness of the alien hull began to crack, lines of white light spreading across its surface. It's working, Mike exclaimed. The quantum disruptor is breaking down their molecular structure. The alien ship fired back, desperate now. A powerful blast hit the Vengeance directly, causing major damage to the lower decks. Hull breach on Deck 12. Lisa reported. Emergency force fields engage. Keep firing, Walker ordered. Don't let up. The quantum disruptor continued its work, the white energy eating away at the alien vessel. Suddenly, there was a flash of intense light, and a shock wave rolled out from the alien ship. The Vengeance rocked violently as the wave hit them. When they could see again, the alien ship was in pieces, most of its hull destroyed. But a small central section remained intact, drifting among the debris. We did it, Davis said, almost not believing it. We actually took it down. Life signs? Walker asked. Emma checked her sensors. There's something still alive in that central section. Faint, but definitely there. Walker exchanged looks with Lisa. This is our chance to learn what we're facing. Prep a boarding team. 2 hours later, Walker stood in the Vengeance's high-security lab, staring at their prisoner. The alien didn't look like anything they had expected. It had no fixed shape, its body a shifting mass of gray matter that sometimes formed limbs or features before dissolving back into formlessness. It was contained in a special chamber with powerful force fields. The science team had determined it breathed a similar atmosphere to humans, but required much less oxygen. Can it understand us? Walker asked Dr. Helen Morgan, the ship's chief scientist. I think so, Morgan replied. It responds to sounds and movements. And look at this. She pressed a button, causing a simple image to appear on a screen inside the alien's chamber, a basic star map. The alien's form shifted, extending a limb-like appendage toward the image. It touched specific points, stars where Earth-like planets had been destroyed. It knows what it's done, Lisa said softly. It's not just some mindless destroyer. Emma stepped forward with a tablet. Sir, I've been working on decoding their communications. I think I have a basic translation algorithm. She typed something, and the tablet displayed a simple message. Who you? The alien's form rippled. After a moment, a sound emerged from it, a series of clicks and hums that the translation software attempted to process. Protector. Emma read from the tablet. It says it's a protector. Walker stepped closer to the chamber. Ask it what it's protecting. Emma typed the question. The alien's response came quicker this time. Galaxy. Life. Future. Emma translated. Sir, I think it believes it's saving the galaxy by destroying Earth-like planets. Walker frowned. Ask it why. After Emma typed the question, the alien seemed to hesitate. Its form contracted into a tighter ball, then expanded again. The sounds it made were more complex this time. The infection grows on blue worlds, Emma read, her voice growing concerned. It says, the hunger wakes. It spreads. It consumes all. What hunger? Walker demanded. The alien's form shuddered. You carry it. Emma translated. All Earth worlds carry it. Must destroy before it spreads. Walker felt a chill run through him. It thinks we're some kind of disease. Sir, Emma said, looking up from her tablet. There's more. It's saying something about a collective. I think it's trying to tell us it's not alone. It's part of something bigger. Walker nodded slowly. We'll call it gray for now, he said, referring to the alien's colorless, shifting form. Keep working on communication. I want to know exactly what we're facing. As they left the lab, Lisa spoke quietly to Walker. Do you think it's telling the truth? That they're destroying planets to save the galaxy from some kind of infection? I don't know, Walker replied. But I do know one thing. They still plan to destroy Earth. And we can't let that happen. What neither of them noticed was the slight flicker in the ship's lights as they walked down the corridor, or the momentary glitch in the security cameras watching Gray's chamber, the first signs that something was already wrong aboard the Vengeance. The EDF Vengeance moved silently through the debris field of a destroyed planet. Chunks of rock that had once been mountains and continents now floated in endless darkness. Captain Walker stood by the main viewport, his face grim as he watched the remains drift past. This was their work, he said quietly. An entire world just gone. The third one we found, Lisa replied, standing beside him. All Earth-like planets, all completely destroyed. 5 days had passed since they captured Gray. The alien remained in its containment chamber, sometimes communicating, sometimes falling into long periods of silence. Meanwhile, the Vengeance had followed the path of destruction left by the Void Fleet, hoping to learn more about their enemy. Captain, Emma called from her station. I'm picking up transmissions. Lots of them. Walker turned quickly. From where? About 2 light hours ahead. It's the same type of signals we detected from the scout ship, but much stronger. I think. She paused, adjusting her equipment. I think it's the main Void Fleet. The bridge fell silent. Everyone knew what that meant. If the scout ship had nearly overwhelmed them, a fleet would be unstoppable. Can you decode any of it? Walker asked. Emma nodded. Some. The translation algorithm is getting better the more we hear. They're discussing their next target. She looked up, her expression troubled. Sir, there's another Earth-like planet ahead, and it has life on it. Walker's decision was immediate. Set course for that planet. Maximum speed. Captain, Lisa questioned. Our orders were to gather intelligence and return to Earth. If there's a living world in their path, we need to see what happens, Walker said firmly. We need to know exactly what we're facing. The journey took another day. As they approached the target system, they kept their distance, using the ship's advanced sensors to observe from afar. There it is, Mike said, putting the image on the main screen. The planet looked remarkably like Earth. Blue oceans, white clouds, green and brown landmasses. Sensors showed an oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere and abundant plant life. But there was something else. I'm detecting artificial structures, Ellen reported. Cities. Technology. This planet has intelligent life. Primitive compared to us, Lisa noted, checking the readings. Their technology level is similar to Earth's early 20th century. They haven't even reached their moon yet. Walker made a decision. We need to warn them. Sir, Alan objected, if we reveal ourselves, we might lead the Void Fleet straight to Earth. We can't just watch them die, Walker replied. Emma, can you send a message that they might understand? Something basic, warning of danger. Before Emma could answer, new alerts sounded across the bridge. Multiple ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel. Alan called out, "It's the Void Fleet." The main screen showed dozens of ships appearing around the planet. They were similar to the scout ship but larger, their dark hulls shifting and flowing like liquid shadow. They formed a ring around the planet, keeping perfect formation. They haven't detected us yet, Lisa said. We're just outside their sensor range. Record everything, Walker ordered. We need to see what they do. For hours, the void ships maintained their position. Then, one by one, they extended long, spike-like appendages toward the planet. Energy readings are off the charts, Mike reported. They're charging some kind of weapon. Walker watched in helpless horror as beams of intense energy shot from each ship, connecting with the planet's surface. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly, the blue oceans began to darken. The green landmasses turned brown, then gray. It was as if all color was being drained from the world. They're not destroying it physically, Lisa whispered. They're emptying it somehow. Sir, Emma said suddenly, I've decoded more of their transmissions. They keep referring to something called the hunger. They believe it's hiding on these planets. Take us to the containment lab, Walker ordered. I want answers from Gray. Now. In the lab, Gray's shifting form seemed more agitated than usual. It moved rapidly within its chamber, forming and reforming limb-like appendages. It knows what's happening, Dr. Morgan said. It can sense the fleet nearby. Walker approached the chamber. We need to talk, Gray. Your people are killing an entire world out there, a world with billions of living beings on it. Emma translated Walker's words through her tablet. Gray's response came quickly. Not killing. Saving. Emma read. Removing the infection before it spreads. What infection? Walker demanded. Show us. Gray's form extended toward the communication screen. Using the simple interface they had provided, it brought up an image of what looked like a small glowing particle. The hunger begins small, Emma translated. It hides inside life. Grows with intelligence. When life reaches stars, hunger spreads. Are you saying there's some kind of parasite on Earth-like planets? Walker asked. Gray's form pulsed. In the beginning, life and hunger were separate, but hunger learned to hide inside life. It guides evolution, makes intelligence, makes technology, all to spread itself. Walker felt a chill run through him. And you think this hunger is on Earth? That it's in humans? In all Earth worlds, Emma translated Gray's response. Hunger has many forms, many stages. You carry old form, still growing. Other worlds, hunger is awake, must be stopped. As if to emphasize Gray's point, the ship's lights flickered again, more noticeably this time. Mike checked his tablet. Power fluctuations on Deck 7. That's the third time today. Alan Davis, who had been quietly observing, suddenly spoke up. Captain, we need to return to Earth immediately. If what Gray is saying is true, we can't just accept this creature's word. Lisa interrupted. It could be trying to justify genocide. Walker held up his hand for silence. Emma, ask it one more question. Ask if there's a way to remove this hunger without destroying entire planets. Emma typed the question. Gray's response was slow in coming. Too late once hunger takes root, Emma read. Must burn out completely. Tried containment before. Failed. Always escapes. A new alarm sounded, and Alan quickly checked his tablet. Sir, The Void Fleet is finishing its work. The planet. He hesitated. The planet is dead. All life signs gone. And they're changing formation. I think they're preparing to move on. Back to the bridge, Walker ordered. We need tow. He was interrupted by a sudden power failure. The lights went out completely, and emergency lighting activated seconds later. What happened? Walker demanded. Mike was already checking the systems. Major power failure in the main reactor. It's like something interfered with the control systems. Dr. Morgan looked at Gray's chamber with new suspicion. The containment field held, but, Captain, I think Gray might be able to affect our ship somehow. Through some kind of energy field or radiation we can't detect. Walker made a quick decision. Mike Allen, check the reactor. Lisa, coordinate a ship-wide security sweep. Emma, stay with Dr. Morgan, and keep working on communication with Gray. I want to know exactly what we're dealing with. As they dispersed, Walker couldn't shake a growing feeling of dread. If Gray was telling the truth, then humanity faced a threat they'd never imagined. But if Gray was lying, why would an advanced alien civilization destroy worlds full of innocent life? The answer, he suspected, was somewhere in the middle, and they were running out of time to find it. Captain Walker couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the planet dying, its blue oceans turning black, its green lands fading to gray. He sat up in his quarters, rubbing his tired eyes. The Vengeance had been running silent for 2 days, hiding from the Void Fleet while they repaired the damage to their systems. His communication panel beeped. Captain, this is Lisa. You're needed in the medical bay. Now. Something in her voice made Walker move quickly. He dressed and hurried through the dim corridors. The ship was running on reduced power to avoid detection, and many sections were lit only by emergency lighting. In the medical bay, Dr. Morgan stood over a crew member lying on an examination table. The man was shaking, his eyes open but unfocused. Lisa and Mike Thompson were there too, standing back from the table with worried expressions. What happened? Walker asked. This is Technician Jones, Dr. Morgan explained. He was working on repairs in the engine room when Mike found him talking to himself and tearing out control panels. Mike nodded grimly. He kept saying the ship needed to be corrected. When I tried to stop him, he attacked me. It took 3 security officers to restrain him. Walker looked at the man on the table. Jones was one of the most reliable members of the engineering team. Quiet, steady, not the type to snap under pressure. What's wrong with him? Walker asked. Dr. Morgan brought up a scan of Jones's brain on her screen. His brain activity is unusual. There are patterns I've never seen before, especially in the frontal lobe. It's like parts of his brain are being rewired. When did this start? Walker asked. Hard to say, Morgan replied. But he was part of the team that brought back samples from the alien ship. He helped move equipment from the scout ship to our lab for study. Walker frowned. How many others were on that team? 5, Mike answered, including Officer Davis. Walker's head snapped up. Where is Davis now? Lisa checked her tablet. He's on duty in the weapons control room. Walker hid his comm badge. Security. Find Officer Davis and detain him immediately. Consider him dangerous. Too late for that, Captain. The new voice came from the doorway. Alan Davis stood there, holding a laser pistol pointed at them. His expression was calm, but his eyes had the same unfocused look as Jones. Alan, Walker said carefully, put down the weapon. Davis smiled slightly. I can't do that, James. There's too much at stake. The Vengeance needs to be redirected. Redirected where? Lisa asked, slowly moving her hand toward the emergency call button on the wall. To join the fleet, of course, Davis replied. They're not our enemy. They just don't understand yet. Walker kept his voice steady. Who doesn't understand, Alan? The Void. Davis stepped further into the room. They think the hunger is a disease, a parasite. They don't see that it's evolution in its purest form. It doesn't destroy life. It elevates it. Ellen, listen to yourself, Mike said. This isn't you talking. Davis ignored him, focusing on Walker. The samples we brought back from the scout ship, they contained particles of the hunger. It's been reaching out, connecting with those of us who are ready to understand. And what does it want? Walker asked, trying to keep Davis talking while he looked for an opportunity to disarm him. To grow, to spread, to evolve. Davis's eyes seemed to glow with inner excitement. It's been guiding life for millions of years, Captain, pushing it toward intelligence, toward technology, toward the stars. Not to destroy, but to connect all life in the galaxy. By taking over people's minds. Lisa asked sharply. By expanding them, Davis corrected. I see so much more now. Feel so much more. He gestured with the gun. And soon, you will too. Walker saw his chance. As Davis waved the gun, Walker lunged forward, grabbing his arm. The laser pistol fired, hitting a medical cabinet and setting it on fire. Lisa jumped to help Walker, while Mike pulled Dr. Morgan to safety. Davis was surprisingly strong. He threw Walker off and aimed the gun again. But before he could fire, a security team burst through the door, their weapons trained on Davis. Drop the weapon, the security chief ordered. For a moment, Davis seemed to consider fighting. Then, unexpectedly, he smiled and dropped the pistol. It doesn't matter, he said calmly. It's already too late. As security took Davis away, the ship's alarms suddenly blared. Walker hit his comm badge. Bridge, report. Captain, multiple systems are failing, came the response. Navigation, weapons, shields, they're all going offline. And, sir, we're broadcasting some kind of signal. A powerful one. I can't shut it down. Walker looked at Lisa and Mike, his face grim. Davis wasn't working alone. How many others are infected? Unknown, Lisa replied. But if it's spread from those samples, we need to talk to Gray, Walker decided. Now, in the containment lab, Gray seemed more active than ever, its formless body rippling and shifting rapidly. It knows, Dr. Morgan said. Whatever's happening on the ship, Gray is aware of it. Walker approached the containment field. Gray, what's happening to my crew? What is the hunger doing to them? Emma, who had been summoned to translate, typed Walker's questions. Gray's response came quickly. Connecting. Claiming. Preparing. Emma read from her tablet. The hunger touches minds first, then bodies, then ships, then worlds. How do we stop it? Walker demanded. Gray's form pulsed. Cannot stop. Too late. Signal already sent. Fleet coming. As if to confirm Gray's words, a new alert sounded from Emma's tablet. Captain, long-range sensors are detecting multiple ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel. It's the Void Fleet. They found us. Walker made a swift decision. Lock down all affected crew members. Mike, get to engineering and try to regain control of our systems. Lisa, prepare evacuation protocols for unaffected personnel. Emma, stay with Gray. I want to know everything it can tell us about fighting the hunger. As the others rushed to carry out his orders, Walker stayed behind for a moment with Dr. Morgan. How many do you think are infected? He asked quietly. Morgan's face was grim, based on the spread pattern and incubation time. Possibly half the crew by now. Walker felt the weight of command as never before. And there's no cure. No way to remove this thing once it takes hold. Gray seemed to suggest it's permanent, Morgan replied. But she hesitated. There's something else. I've been studying the brain scans of affected crew members. The changes are extensive, but they're not random. It's like their brains are being upgraded. Upgraded? Morgan nodded. More neural connections, increased processing capacity. Whatever the hunger is, it's not just controlling them, it's changing them, making them something more than human. Walker thought of Davis's words about evolution and connection. For the first time, he wondered if the Void's mission of destruction was truly as righteous as Gray claimed. What if the hunger wasn't simply a parasite, but something more complex? What if both sides in this ancient war had lost perspective? But there was no time for philosophical debates. The Vengeance was compromised. The Void Fleet was closing in, and half his crew might no longer be entirely human. "Do what you can for the infected," he told Morgan. "But your priority is protecting the unaffected crew." As Walker headed for the bridge, the ship's lights flickered again. The infection was spreading. And soon, they would have to make a choice that would determine not just the fate of the Vengeance, but possibly of humanity itself. The bridge of the EDF Vengeance was in chaos. Half the control stations were dark, and the crew worked frantically to restore power to critical systems. Through the main viewport, Captain Walker could see the approaching Void Fleet, dozens of dark ships moving in perfect formation. "Time to weapons range?" Walker asked. 10 minutes, Lisa replied, her face pale but determined. "But our weapons are still offline. Mike is trying to restore them now." Walker nodded. "And our engines. Partial power only. We can move, but not fast enough to escape." Walker made his decision. "Set a course directly for the Void Command ship." Lisa looked up in surprise. "Sir, they think we're completely infected by the hunger," Walker explained. "Let's use that to our advantage. If we appear to be joining them, they might let us get close." Understanding dawned on Lisa's face. "And then we can use the quantum disruptor, if Mike can get it back online." "Exactly." Walker turned to Emma. "Can you broadcast signals that would make them think the hunger has fully taken over our ship?" Emma worked at her station. "I think so. I've recorded enough of the patterns from the infected crew members. I can amplify them and transmit." "Do it," Walker ordered. As the Vengeance changed course, moving straight toward the Void Fleet, Walker opened a shipwide channel. "All uninfected crew, this is Captain Walker. Proceed to emergency escape pods. Prepare for evacuation on my command." He paused. "This is not a surrender. This is our last stand." He closed the channel and looked at the officers still on the bridge. "Anyone who wants to leave, go now. What comes next will be dangerous." No one moved. "We're with you, Captain," Lisa said simply. Walker nodded, touched by their loyalty. "Then let's finish this mission." His comm badge beeped. "Captain, this is Morgan. Gray is becoming extremely agitated. It's trying to tell us something important." "On my way," Walker replied. As he headed for the containment lab, Walker passed corridors filled with crew members being escorted to secure areas. Some went willingly, confused by their own changed thoughts. Others fought, their eyes showing the same unfocused glow that Davis had displayed. In the lab, Gray's form was pulsing rapidly, changing shape every few seconds. "What's happening?" Walker asked Dr. Morgan. "It started when we changed course," she replied. "It knows what we're planning." Emma was already typing questions into her tablet. Gray's responses came in rapid bursts. "It says the Void Command ship contains their leader," Emma translated. A being called. The closest translation is the first witness. It's the one who first discovered the hunger millions of years ago. "Ask if destroying the command ship will stop the fleet," Walker said. Gray's response was immediate and clear. "Yes," Emma read. "But Gray says there's something else we need to know. About Earth." Walker felt a chill. "What about Earth?" Gray's form seemed to struggle, as if finding the right concepts was difficult. Finally, it extended a limb-like appendage and touched the screen, bringing up historical images from Earth's database, ancient cave paintings, Egyptian hieroglyphs, Renaissance art, and finally, modern technology. "The hunger has been on Earth for thousands of years," Emma translated slowly. "It says it guided human evolution, our development of technology, our drive to reach space." Walker stared at the shifting alien. "Are you saying humanity itself is a product of the hunger?" Gray's form contracted, then expanded in what might have been affirmation. "Not product," Emma read. Partner. Different form. Earth hunger evolved differently. Symbiosis, not control. Walker struggled to understand. The hunger on Earth works with humans instead of controlling them. Special case. Emma continued translating. Rare mutation. Hunger usually consumes. Earth hunger merges. Still dangerous. Still spreads. But different. Walker's mind raced. If Gray was telling the truth, then humanity's entire history, their intelligence, their progress, their drive to explore the stars, had been shaped by this alien force. But unlike on other worlds, it had formed a partnership rather than simply taking control. His comm badge beeped urgently. Captain, we're entering weapons range, Lisa reported. The Void Fleet is surrounding us. But they're not firing. They think we're infected. On my way, Walker replied. He looked at Gray one last time. Ask it if there's any way for Earth to survive this, any way at all. Gray's final message was brief. Show them the difference. Emma translated. Show the first witness the new path. On the bridge, Walker found Mike at the weapons station. I've restored power to the quantum disruptor, Mike reported. One shot only, though. Target the command ship, Walker ordered. The massive void vessel loomed ahead, twice the size of any other ship in the fleet. As the Vengeance approached, the other ships made way, allowing them to pass. They think we're one of them now, Lisa said quietly. Walker nodded. Emma, open a direct communication channel to the command ship. Use the translation algorithm. Channel open. Emma confirmed seconds later. Walker stood straight, knowing this might be his last act as captain of the Vengeance. This is Captain James Walker of Earth, he began. We know about the hunger. We know about your mission. But there's something you need to understand. Images appeared on the main screen, the history of Earth, humanity's achievements, their art, their music, their cooperation, even their struggles. The hunger on Earth evolved, Walker continued. It formed a partnership with us. It doesn't control us. It inspires us. We're not your enemy, and we're not the hunger's slaves. We're something new. For a long moment, there was no response. Then a signal came through, complex and alien. They're scanning us, Emma reported. Deep scan. They're looking for evidence of what you said. Walker turned to his crew. Let them see the truth. Let them see who we really are. The scan continued for several tense minutes. Then, just as Walker was beginning to lose hope, the void ships began to move, pulling back, reforming their lines. They're withdrawing, Lisa said in disbelief. A final message came from the command ship. Emma translated it with wide eyes. We will watch. We will wait. If you speak truth, a new path may be possible. If you lie, Emma looked up. If you lie, no Earth will survive. As the Void Fleet disappeared into faster-than-light travel, the bridge crew let out a collective breath. They had done the impossible, convinced the destroyers of worlds to spare Earth, at least for now. Walker looked out at the stars, thinking of Gray's words about partnership and evolution. The hunger within humanity had shaped their destiny, but hadn't controlled it. They had found a balance that the rest of the galaxy thought impossible. Set course for home, Walker ordered. We have a lot to report, and a lot to prepare for. As the Vengeance turned toward Earth, Walker knew their journey had only just begun. Humanity now stood at a crossroads between worlds, not quite what they had believed themselves to be, but perhaps something more. Something that could bridge the ancient conflict between life and the hunger. Something that might, in time, save not just Earth, but all worlds. The war was not over. But today, at least, they had won a battle not through destruction, but through understanding. And that, Walker thought, might be humanity's greatest strength of all.